I'm with Daniel Marín, the owner of Spanish Property Expert. Hi, Daniel. How you doing?
Hi, Alfredo. I'm very good. Nice to see you. How are you?
We interviewed you probably over a year ago now.
Yeah.
That was well, what for the benefit of those that didn't see that video, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your agency and the areas that you cover?
I am the CEO of Spanish Property Expert. We've been in business a long time now. Initially, I started with Remax in America, and I think I'm doing now over 15 years in business. I came here to Spain purely by accident with a friend of mine, and I fell in love with the area. And about 3 years later, I moved from Miami to Mojaca, and I started to run the business here. And we position ourselves as an international broker. We don't work like a normal estate agency, like locally or something like that. We cover a wide area. So we cover from as far as probably Alicante to as far as Malaga. We even have connections in Barcelona. We have connections in Malaga, in Madrid. So we cover a wide area of Spain, but personally, I am in Mojaca, so I cover here a lot of area in Mojaca, and I'm doing a lot of business here in Mojaca.
For the benefit of those who don't know, Mojácar is in the costa, Almeria Costa, no?
Costa Almeria. When
Costa
I
Almeria.
came here the first time, I fell in love with the nature. It's nothing like Marbella or anything like that. It's more close to the nature. And what I've seen here, especially in Almeria, I've seen growth. I've seen room for development. As in Almeria, it's always been underdeveloped. It's not you cannot compare Almeria with Malaga or Alicante or Barcelona. But now a lot of things has to start happening here. Also, I think, in my opinion, is the cheapest part of Spain in terms of cost of buying a property, cost of living, and I think, in my opinion, is the best quality of life what you can get in Spain. So it's very close to the farmers here. You get your products, your everything is bio. It comes from the fields, it comes from the farmers, and if you make your right connections here, you can have a good life here. So that's what I think about Almeria in generally. But I'm also a property investor myself, so I buy and sell properties myself. And from the investment point of view, I think is the best place to invest. Also, now in 2026, the bullet train is coming, the AVE. The station is going to be in Vera. So you'll be able to travel from Vera to Madrid in 2.5 hours, which at the moment by car is about 7 hours. And there is an expectation of 30% increase in property values by 2027 because of the trend. And we can see a lot of people moving actually in the area here, and we see a big jump in prices as well. In the last 5 years, the prices has jumped a lot.
I mean, the prices have gone up throughout all the coastal areas in Spain in the last 5 years since COVID.
But say, for example, you could buy here an apartment 5 years ago for below 100,000, and Almeria was well known for property below 100,000. Now the prices has gone up big time, so it's not the same anymore. And when I look in Malaga, for example, 300, 400, 500, here it starts to become 150, 200, 300. So we're still 100,000 below anybody else, if you know what I mean, so then.
And the high-speed train to pass via Vera. I mean, Vera is it's like a neighboring town to Mojácar, isn't it?
It's about
Pretty
15
much.
minutes drive from,
Yeah.
I would say about 15 kilometers, something like that. I think it is to Vera from.
Because do you think that's part of the reason why the prices have stayed so reasonable in the Costa Almeria, because of perhaps not the big Alicante airport, big Malaga airport, Almeria airport's a little bit weak, and to do the high speed train, you currently would have to go through Madrid. So that's going to completely change things.
Let me take you back a little bit in the history. So as you know, we had a recession in 2008. Now, by trade, I am specialized in bank repossession properties. I've done bank repossession all over the world, in Dubai, in America, all over the world. And 2008, when that recession hits a lot in Spain as well. So when we came in Almeria, a lot of developers, they went bust here, and the banks took the properties back. And we start to sell those properties for the banks. But there's a trend, especially in the holiday homes, like somebody's buying a property today is like buying a Ferrari. You get bored after a certain years, and you pass it on, you sell it, and you move on. So most of our clients from the beginning in 2010, 2012, now they more or less they double their money in the properties what they bought with us at the beginning. But that creates for us a product as well, because who is buying with us, it's refurbishing the property with us, it's renting the property with us, and after that is reselling it with us. So it creates a market on its own, what we've done so far. So coming back now to you're asking me about the trend and about how that is going to impact the prices. In what we see now, especially in from Almeria to, say, for example, to the border with Murcia, which you have Mojaca, you have Carboneras, you have Garrucha, which you have Vera Playa, you have Palomares, Villaricos. All those are some villages interconnected. And what we see now, they start to build more, and there's more investment coming into the place. For example, there is a place called Playa Macena. There is a 200 million investment going on at the moment in Playa Macena. They start to build new infrastructure. They start to build new roads. So that on its own brings more investment here, brings more money into area. But we also see the prices going up because of that, on the resales and also on the new builds. And new builds at the moment, for example, Mojaca, it has the tendency to be the most expensive place around here. So Mojaca, now to buy something decent, you're talking minimum 200,000 euro. And if you're talking for a brand new villa, which is being built as we speak, the cheapest probably is about 800,000 you pay for one of those villas. One bedroom apartments now, they start to become 260, 250, something like, they start to get more momentum to be that way. And we see the increasing in prices, year after year, we see that.
And you expect the price to do a considerable jump once
There's still,
jumps.
I'm talking a lot about Playa Macena because I'm the agent for Playa Macena, and I've seen Playa Macena from the beginning when there was an investment of 900 million. And when they've been building it in 2008, those properties, they were in an average, they were starting from 360,000, half a million, and they dropped drastically. They dropped to as low as 90,000. And now I can see them go back to the original price. So we're talking now kind of original prices from back then. I don't know if you can put it that's increasing in prices or go back to original prices. I really don't know how to look at it, to be honest with you. But in terms of inflation and all that, I'm pretty sure 100,000 euro from today is not 100,000 euro from 2008. So I think it's a big difference there. So it's hard to say, but the trend is growing. It's growing because of the demand is here. People start to come to Mojaca, people start to come to Almeria, people start to come to this region, and there is a demand. So there is growth, and this growth is happening steadily, slowly and steadily, but it does happening, and that's what we like to see as well, because it's a movement in the market. It's not static,
Would you consider Almeria, the Costa Almeria, as a sort of a hidden gem that people are starting to discover?
It's always been, and it struck me the first time when I come here. I went, because when you go to Spain, where are you going holidays? Marbella, Alicante, Barcelona, Madrid, and you kind of stuck with that idea. But when you start to go actually into the other parts of Spain, you discover those gems. And you realize, hold on a second, there's a different world altogether, and especially through this business, I discovered a lot inland as well. I discovered, for example, Albujarra, Granada, Sierra Nevada. Oh my God, it's out of this world, and it's, in my opinion, I think is the cheapest part of Spain in terms of cost of living, and the quality, it's out of this world, I live here in Tabernas. In my opinion, I think we have the nicest olive oil in the world. It's called Oro del Desierto. And I visit the factory. I'm friends with the factory as well. But the quality of the olive oil, it's out of this world. And just give you an example. Today, I'm going to have my lunch. I'm going to buy sardines for €3 a kilo. €3 a kilo, stick it in the air fryer, and I have my lunch. Where would you get that? And it's freshly cut this morning, so.
And just for context, so you live in Tabernas, you said, yeah?
I'm about 40 minutes away from Tabernas.
But that's so you have Mojaca Playa, for example, which is exactly what people would hope to have as a beach resort, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Tabernas is desert, isn't it? That's where the old spaghetti westerns used to be filmed.
Absolutely. We have mini Hollywood Oasis, which is the studios where they used to do the movies, the bad, the good, and the ugly, with
the spaghetti westerns
and all that. It's amazing. I mean, it's a good experience, and because we do rentals as well, I always tell my clients, especially when they have kids, go and visit those places because it's unique. And not many people are aware of that, because those things, they were more for Spanish, not for international. Almeria always was it still is a Spanish destination for Madrid. Madrid people comes here a lot. And now a lot of other people from other countries, they start to come as well, and I can see their faces. When I tell them come to Mojaca, and they not even can pronounce it. They said, "What is that? I never heard of it." And when you drive them in, you could see the face of wow. And that's such a joyful experience for me. When I see people like that. Sometimes I go and pick up clients from the airport, for example, and I have to do some tours or something like that. And sometimes they come at night, and I always invite them to Mojaca. But they get upset. Listen, I don't know that place. Because they don't know me, and they get a bit agey, And I said, just leave it with me. I will give you a nice apartment here. You can sleep overnight. And in the morning, we start to do our business. And in the morning, they go, no, I want to buy here. But hold on a second, you want to do another one? No, I want to be here. It's amazing, how human mind works. It's absolutely.
I mean, you got the beautiful white village up in the hill.
Yeah.
And then you got all the beach side that just stretches all the way down to the Gavalirata sort of nature reserve, isn't it? And then up towards sort of Murcia and Alicante. So the
other thing is, back in my other life, let's put it that way, I used to play water polo. I was doing a lot of sport, and I was a professional. And now, through a client of mine who bought of me properties about 5 years ago, the guy bought 2 properties worth about $500,000, and we start to talk, and he says to me, what do you do for sport? I said, nothing, I'm just getting fat. I'm having the good life. He says, you need to come with me on the bicycle. I said, listen, leave me alone. I don't like the bicycles. He forced me to go on the bicycle with him, and now I'm addicted to the bicycle. And I discovered another paradise. You see it different from a bicycle than you'll see it from the car. It's totally different place, and I think here where we are, it's an amazing place for cycling as well, especially for road cycling, mountain bike as well, but road cycling is, I do a lot. I mean, I do probably 200 kilometers a week, so I cycle a lot. I'm addicted to the thing.
Wow. Well, that's a very healthy addiction to have, isn't it? So let's talk about 2025. We're into Q2. How has the year started, and how does it compare to last year, would you say, for you guys?
There was few things what kind of upset me in a little bit. First of all was the Sanchez coming with 100% tax. That what happened there create a lot of stress on the market. And the moment he made that declaration, my phone physically was ringing every 5 minutes with sellers panicking, with buyers panicking, and with a lot of people which took him in the wrong way. Because the guy, he came and just made a political statement. And I think what happening there, he just tried to take the attention from other things and put the attention here. That's what politics. And people start to panic, and panic for markets is not good, and especially give us work for unnecessary work, because I had to calm down the people, and I had to take time and speak with individual one by one and calm the things down, and that create a bit of frustration. And after that, the other thing with the golden visa, we were designed for the golden visas, and we go a lot to China, and we do a lot of advertising in those countries, in Dubai, in China, in especially for golden visa. And now they cancel it. To me, that I didn't like that, to be honest with you, and that kind of affect a little bit the side of our business, because, for example, now we are booked again to go in China, and to go to China is not cheap, and it takes a lot of effort, and where I like to class myself as an ambassador for this country, I go out there to China, to Shanghai, to Dubai, and I promote this country, and I promote the way of living in this country. And those politicians, they just cut us, and it's not a nice feeling. I would say that would be probably the challenge in the first quarter of this year, But in the same time, golden visa was more like a thing to have. At the end of the day, people buy the lifestyle here. People likes to be in Spain. The quality of life, they come for the life. Now, the golden visa was more like a bonus. And the properties are good here. The quality of the builds, what they are building with the new technology now, it's very good as well. So, yes, I'm probably gonna miss that, but I would say probably 20%. It will be like a hit of about 20%. 80%, whatever who wants to buy from all over the world to buy here, they will still buy it. Golden visa or no golden visa, and they have other ways of staying here. It's not necessarily through buying a property, but. Yes, it did affect to a certain point,
So how about the rest of 2025? What's your outlook? Is it optimistic?
At the moment, it looks very busy. We managed to get a portfolio of properties, what they sell very quick. and it looks very, very busy, like, and I think it's going to be a good year. So far, I think it's going to be a good year. I'm looking now, it's Easter, and Mojaca is jumped. I mean, I had to drive this morning from Mojaca to Vera. It probably took me an hour. When a normal road for 15 minutes, it took me an hour. So it's jumped with people at the moment. So it looks good when you see movement of people. It looks very good.
And has there been any changes in who's buying, or is it the same usual mix?
I see a lot of Belgians, Belgium, Dutch, French, Germans, a lot of those clients. British markets are slowed down a lot, I must say. Irish are buying a lot, Americans are buying a lot, Canadians are buying a lot. And I start to, because of our nature, our business, we bring a lot of Chinese in as well, Indians. So they start to, but if I put it now, number one, probably Belgium would be number one who is buying here. And Belgium would be probably number one in inquiries and everything else, like, so it's there is a trend coming from the North countries to here a lot. But the British market for us has slowed down a lot. It's not like in the past years where they were dominating the market, like,
What agents tell us from other parts of Spain is that this smaller dominance of one nationality actually makes the market more steady.
Yeah.
Because before, when maybe the British market was a third of the whole international market, if the British having a tough time, it would affect the whole market. Whereas now it seems to be made up by, like you said, the Brits are down, the Polish are up, the Belgians are up.
I was a bit scared. I was a bit scared when the Brexit happened. Don't get me wrong, like, because they were my number one client, and our company is British as well, like, so we were geared up for British people, like, but the market adjusts himself, like, it has this correlation. I mean, they drop, but other people come on top. As you said, Polish, I forgot about Polish. A lot of Polish are buying here at the moment, and I think it's due to their economics in their own countries. They can afford to look at other properties now abroad, like, and a lot of Polish people are buying here, like, even Romanians. I saw properties to Romanians as well, Bulgarians, Hungary. It's that's another thing. I keep forgetting about them. But
I mean,
as you mentioned, they keep coming in my head, like,
I think the Polish.
Usually we do probably about 4 sales a week, and I'm talking yesterday from you guys, I had about 100 inquiries in Sunday. 100 inquiries. I think it came
from Kiera.
From Kiera. It's crazy how was yesterday, like, and yesterday, instead of enjoying my free time, I was just answering emails and doing my business. Like,
our apologies, Will.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good problem to have, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so pricing you already mentioned. So you see prices are still great value, but you see they will continue to rise gradually. Okay.
What I hope to happen in the future, I hope they're going to start to build more. And that's what I hope, because there is a lack of properties. And the problem is what they are building at the moment, they're building only expensive stuff. So, I mean, you would like to see they are building affordable stuff as well. They don't focus only on the high-end properties, like, because what the trend, it seems to be, they are focusing a lot on high-end. But you have a lot of clientele, what they buy between 100,000 to 200,000. So you would need kind of a product like that as well. That's what we lack in that type of product, the resale, the resale, which is affordable, like,
Would you say that's your biggest challenge at the moment is inventory?
Yeah. And actually, I'm focusing at the moment, try to get more products in, like, because that's, I never thought I'll be in the situation where it's, because we had this, what happened, the bad bank of Spain called Sareb, they withdraw from the market about 40,000 properties. Now, 40,000 properties is a lot of properties. And they withdraw that because of what the problem was with not having properties enough for the Spanish. So they are looking from these 40,000 properties to convert it in social houses. So what happening there, out of a sudden, we didn't have any more product from bank repossessed, and that dropped, and the resales value started to increase. So that what happened. It was like a wave, and that's happening in the last month. And when you had a property there selling it for 100,000, out of a sudden that property become 130,000. So it's a very big drop. It's going very high. Like, that's what we've seen. Like,
Just roughly speaking, just so people can get an idea, how much can you get a 2-bedroom apartment within 15 minutes of some beach somewhere on Costa Almeria. Resale. What's the starting price? What sort of range?
Let's start like that. You have bank repossessed. You still have some bank repossessed which you can buy below 100,000, but it requires a new kitchen. It requires air conditioner. It requires furniture. So it comes because the bank repossessed what you were selling in the past, they weren't bank repossessed from the people. They were bank repossessed from the developers. So those properties, nobody lived in them before. So they've been lying like that since 2012. Because a lot of people, they don't understand the dynamics of bank repossession in Spain. What's happening when the bank is taking, they're taking in bulk. And sometimes they release it to the public, but if they do not sell, they put it back into that bulk and they sell it to another bank. And they're moving it between the banks. And that's why they stay unoccupied for so long, because at the end of the day, it's an asset, which is keep moved from a different bank to a different bank, and they keep selling it as an asset, So that's what is the dynamic of bank repossession in Spain. Because a lot of people, they don't understand how come this property has been empty for 15 years. Yes, because it was part of a package which has been selling it from investment funds to banks to different things like that. And now and again, they release it to the public. So you buy a bank repossessed, you still can manage to buy probably a good bank repossessed for in around 100,000. After that, you move to the resales, and they start from about probably 140,000 upwards for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We're talking about within relative distance to amenities and to the beach. So 10, 15 minutes from the
And what about say 2-3 bedroom resale villa, average condition, within half an hour of the beachside, would you say?
A half an hour driving?
More or less, half an hour to 45 minutes, so
you can find from 250 upwards.
Villas. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for example, I have one close to Villaricos. Literally from the villa, you can see the sea, and it's probably 10 minutes drive, 299. And it's like a castle. It's built on 3 floors. It has swimming pool. The plot of land is about 600 meters, and it has about 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Where would you get that?
not
And
in the Costa
it's no older than 15 years, that building. It's an amazing building, So it's 299 is on the market at the moment.
That's mad.
Yeah.
What about recently? Well, in April, there's been some regulatory changes. There's some more coming on, and there's been a lot of news across Spain to do with restrictions imposed on short-term rentals properties. People being able to rent out their homes. Has that affected you in any way?
We hear about that, and we are monitoring that situation. Now, what that happened so far in the big centers, like the likes of Malaga, the likes of Barcelona, the likes of Madrid. In Almeria, at the moment, there is not as restrictive. Every region, they have their own rules, and they make their own rules. At the moment, you still can get a touristic license. But what I've noticed in some urbanizations, the people of that urbanization, they try in some way, somehow to do away with the rentals. So I've started seeing that happening, but it's complicated to enforce it, because what the town halls, the government body, what they try to do, they try to leave it with the people of that urbanization, that particular urbanization. And some of them, they are renting it, some of them, they are not renting it. And it creates a bit of an argument. But it's very hard to enforce it, because if you have a license from the town hall to rent your property, and the community says, no, we don't want rentals in this building, how they're going to enforce it? So it is a bit of problem with that at the moment, but not in Almeria. I mean, in the urbanization, what we are dealing with, my own properties, and we never had any problems. So they are renting, we're paying the taxes, we do everything by the books. So far, there's no problem, no restrictions here,
Name me one place that you think is not that many people know about, even within your area, that offers amazing value, that if you were to buy somewhere as a holiday home, as a foreign buyer, that you would think, okay, I would look here.
Villaricos probably is one of its hidden. San Juan de los Terreros. Águilas, not many people know about Águilas, and Águilas it's a nice town. It's a biggish town. It's in Murcia. It's right border with Almeria. But not many people knows about Águilas. And Águilas, you still can buy a sea view 2-bedroom apartment for 120, 130. Where would you get that? So and not many people knows about. And Águilas is a beautiful, beautiful town. We go there a lot, especially in the winter for the cinema, because they have a big mall and a cinema, and every Tuesday it's in English, so we can watch the movies every Tuesday, like, you know, so it's very nice actually. Aguila, San Juan de los Terreros, I think they are gems, but they are undiscovered. And the other thing regarding your question about the rentals, that's what I think is happening at the moment, because they have problems in Malaga, in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Valencia, in Alicante. People, they start to look at us. And now it drew people from those areas to us, because here is not that regulated, you know. So here is just how it always been. They haven't add up anything on top of it. And I think they'll keep it like that for a long time. So people from those areas, they probably going to start to invest here, because here is less regulated, you know.
And you still have amazing pockets of value. Even like
Yeah.
you say, even though the prices have risen since COVID,
Yeah.
they're still within the price budgets of most of the international buyers that would look at Spain. Whereas some of the other parts of Spain,
the downside for some nationalities, for example, for Irish, I don't know why they removed Ryanair. They removed the flight for Almeria airport. They used to fly to Almeria, and it was because it's only 40 minutes from us to Almeria airport. That's kind of the downside. But I fly a lot to Belfast and I fly a lot to Dublin, because my family, they live in Northern Ireland, and I fly a lot from Alicante. And I always, when a client he wants to be close to an airport, I always say, look, at the day of your travel, you're going to lose it no matter what. So an hour less, an hour more, I don't think it should make a difference in your plans to buy a property, like, you know, because you're not close to the airport. I think the further you are from an airport, I think the better value you get, and you get more of a life as well. Like, you know, that's what I think, like, you know. So.
Well, Daniel, I think if anybody watching this hadn't heard of your area, they now have, and I would expect to see that. I would expect to see a lot of interest from our buyers, because we have them from all over the world, and I think people are still looking for those pockets of value down the Spanish coast.
I live here by choice, and I live here because I fell in love with this place. I could live anywhere I want in Spain, you know, nothing stopped me to go anywhere I want, like, you know, but I live here by choice. And as I said, I see myself as an ambassador for this area. I would invite people to come and experience. And I always said to an investor or to a buyer, rent an apartment for a week, come and experience the area, and you'll see it from a different perspective altogether. You know, do your research, look at things, like, you know, speak to people, speak to me, speak to other agents, speak to the lawyers, to local people, like, you know, and you'll see a different lifestyle here altogether, like, you know.
Well, your details of your website will be in the description of this video or podcast. So anybody wants to get in touch with your company, they can do so. Daniel, thank you so much for talking to us today, and it's been great to catch up with you a year after the initial conversation.
A year older,
a year older, a year better looking, and we will definitely pick up with you again next time and see where this market evolves, and see whether some of your predictions have proven to be exactly that way. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alfredo. Thank you. Have a good day.